out the weak from who you've been. Can you win this war you're in? Is your point laborious, or will you rise victorious? Oh, take it or break it. Take it or break it. Take it or break it. Earn your throne.
Welcome to Take It or Break It, the sports takes talk show of your dreams, your nightmares. I'm your host, Corbin Smith. With me today is my is the Little John to my Robin Hood. It's John Wilmes. John, how you doing?
I don't get the reference, but otherwise good.
Little John, he's Robin Hood's. He's one of the merry men.
I haven't seen that since I was like 5. So
well, it's literature, and we are joined by a guest today from The Athletic. Now, very fancy, and a Raptors blog that I believe is Raptors Republic. Am I right?
Yes.
Hell yeah! It's Katie Heindl. Katie, how's it going?
Good.
We've been
Happy Thanksgiving.
We've been trying. Oh, is it Canadian Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. How are you celebrating?
Oh, I'm just hanging out at home all damn day. I had pumpkin pie for breakfast.
Pumpkin pie is the superior breakfast pie.
It's pretty good for a breakfast pie, I gotta say.
Wilmes, we need your input on this one.
oh, it's good. It's really good. It's not my favorite pie.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I'm not gonna
me
I'm not
neither.
gonna be picky about pies, but my favorite pie is probably key lime. Like key lime.
Such a Wilmes answer. We've been trying to have Katie on literally for weeks, and this is the first time our schedules were able to line up. It's been insane. And right before we started recording, we had a crazy audio problem.
Yeah, it really seemed like fate had
it seemed like
against
fate
us.
is like maybe there's going to be something in this so revolutionary that like death itself has been trying to keep us from doing it.
Death.
Yeah, the arbiter.
Or just like a shitty Skype connection.
Yeah, or just that, or a weird janky Skype
And or
connection.
death.
And or death. All right, so guys, I just started cooking soup, and I need to see if it's boiling. So just talk amongst yourselves for a minute while I go and check on that soup.
Okay, so Corbin's going to get the soup. Katie, why don't you tell me a bit about what you're going to be doing over at The Athletic this season?
Well, John, I'm basically just going to be contributing Raptors pieces specifically. I don't know if I'll be like let loose on the whole of the NBA. They just want my sharp takes on the Toronto Raptors for now. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, not exactly to a boil yet, so I'm going to have to get up in a few more minutes to double check, but...
Fair. Hey, man, soup talk.
I thought I was going to be able to get it done before we started, but I couldn't find our mortar and pestle. You can't just put whole cumin into something.
Classic.
Enough with the soup. Katie, are you going to be doing any sort of like live reporting, live pieces for the Raptors at The Athletic?
I think I'm going to go to some games this year as a press, not just a fan. But I don't know what I'm going to be doing.
Have you covered games live before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, wow. Really?
Pretty fun.
I'm pretty surprised, actually. I also think it's very fun. You get to you get a little seat before the game. You get to go in there with all the other reporters. You get to say things like, Nurkic looks fat or whatever, And
I don't really want to do that, though. I feel like I'll be kind of an outlier, like a bit of a lone wolf.
Well, I don't. You probably know somebody else who covers the games, though, right?
I do. I feel like I know all of those people, but I don't know. I can't. I just see myself outside of the fray.
Well,
yeah, I was always that way when I did it. I didn't really talk. Even the people I knew, I was like, I'm working right now. Hey, it's me in the game.
I'm here.
I feel like I'm very sociable when I get into one of these things. I'm like, hey, Eric Gunderson, Mike Richmond, on Impandian, all the people. I'm like, hey, it's Corbin. What's going on? I just don't relate to this. I just like, oh, it's my Portland sports internet pals are working here, and Casey Holdall. He'll always wear a little suit. He's
you're just in the small town, and we're in the big city.
Yeah, that's true. You guys,
me and Wilmes.
Yeah.
It's cold in the big city. We're always telling people to get out of our way.
Yeah, get out of our way. We're riding here.
I think I'm going to cover some games this year too, but I don't know what about yet. I went to a press day for the Blazers.
Was it fun?
Less fun than going to a game because nobody plays basketball at it. They just kind of get up there, they answer questions. I was doing a piece about what restaurants the Blazers like to eat at.
See, I like that. Obviously, I like that more. Like, I want the wacky stuff. Like, yeah, I'm going to go and sit there and watch a game. That's great. But I would like to go to the press day when they do the wacky, funny stuff. That's not really funny. It's really awkward.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's really reaching.
Yeah. When I was doing it, they were having their pressers, right? And the players would get up there and people and the reporters would be like, so how's your injury? Disappointing end of the year last year, all the stuff you asked the Blazers. And then me, I raise my hand and I go, hey, what restaurant do you like to eat at? and then another guy, David McKay, who writes over at Blazers Edge, I think he does some USA Today stuff too. He was also asking, about, because there's a lot of sneaker companies in Portland, the Nike headquarters are obviously here, and the Adidas of America headquarters are also here. And so he would be like, so playing in Portland with the shoe companies here, does that make a difference? So basically we were asking questions that literally only applied to our needs. And so eventually the PR guy was like, look, all right, after they're done with the big pressers, you guys can go to the side and ask them questions. And I was just like, oh, thank God, finally. And so then me and David did that, and it was slightly less awkward than asking in front of a room full of people, but it was still weird to be like, hey, you are gristle for my niche article I'm writing. So
see, I always hated asking questions in that context so much that I just didn't do it. I remember I did it one time when I was covering a game in Milwaukee because I wasn't really close. I didn't really know anyone there. And so I couldn't get somebody else to ask my question, which is kind of what I would do in Chicago. Oh my God.
Do you like yank Ricky's arm and say, Ricky, can you ask my question, please?
Well, Ricky has famously never been allowed to cover a Bulls game because they don't like his perspective on the team and they're very petty. But
oh yeah. Oh God, what a great organization.
Yeah, even though he's like one of the most sought out, blogging voices on the Bulls, but Sean Highkin, I would often just mumble something to him, be like, hey, I wonder about this, and then Sean would be like, and then he would ask that, and I'd be like, thanks for asking that.
Knowing Sean myself, because Sean is living here right now, and was also at the last media day I was at. That is the funniest person you can ask to do it.
He's fearless. He'll just ask anyone.
Yeah, he is. He is fearless, but he's No, I don't know. He is fearless. He will ask anything. At ours, he asked about the loophole protests. He asked the team president about the sniper rifle company.
Yeah, I would never ask something. I would never ask anything in front of all those people. First of all, but I certainly wouldn't be that. But I was in Milwaukee, and
it's just funny that Highkin is just like, oh, okay, I'll ask John's question. Ba 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 ba.
Yeah, he doesn't mind at all. It's part of what makes him such a good reporter.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I'm not a good person for that. Cause
you're a literature professor.
I just
writing
retreat.
Professor. I apologize.
I just sort of retreat. And but I was in Milwaukee and I didn't really have anyone to hand it off to. And I was like, I want to ask Giannis this question. And I asked him, and I was really insecure in my asking of it, qualifying every statement 10 times. If my question had been written out, there had been an obscene amount of commas, in it. And And then he just sort of looked at me funny and gave me a borderline salty response. And I was like, yeah, I'll never do it again. Never trying again.
You got Giannis to be mean to you.
It was more like I was asked. I don't remember exactly what I asked, but I think it had something to do with the maturity level of the team and like trying to move like Thon Maker along quickly and stuff like that. And he just like grimaced at the thought of there being any lack of maturity on the team. They of course ended up getting smashed by the Raptors, by Katie's Raptors.
Woo!
Shortly after a very ebullient victory in Milwaukee, the Raptors just sort of put that series on lock.
The Smashers.
The Smashers,
as we all know and love them as. I have to check my soup again. I'll be back in a minute.
He never said what kind of soup it is. What do you think it is?
We'll ask him when he gets back. I'm getting texted by a friend who's inviting me over for dinner right now, though, and he's talking about making chili. Yeah, so
chili's okay. It's like a kind of soup.
It's like a kind of soup. Katie,
a real chunky soup. Oh yeah, what's up?
I want to get into something important here, like actually really important. Media day for the Raptors. New Raptor, Kawhi Leonard. You know where I'm going with this. The laugh. Let's talk about the laugh.
I liked the laugh. It was, for me, the first instance of maybe I could get behind this guy, you know?
So
all right, I'm back.
Okay,
my soup has reached a boil, so I have taken it down to a simmer.
The soup king is here.
Every time you go away, we start getting into an interesting conversation, and then you come back just like, soup! We were talking about how Kawhi's laugh was actually the first time that Katie felt like she could get into him as a Raptor.
That's interesting. Too. Yeah, because he's a pretty, Katie's a pretty... Katie, would it be safe to say that you're a sunnier person than a lot of sports writers?
Yeah, I'm pretty sunny.
Yeah, like me and Wilmes, we're just like creatures, But I'm like a sunny, discerning person. Yeah. No, I wasn't trying to imply that you were a normie in any way. It's just that you've got a smile on your face. Is that safe to say?
Right now, I do.
Yeah. and definitely there is a thing about Kawhi where he's very Spurs, very dour, very death incarnate in a basketball player, and so that makes sense to me. I think.
What does?
That when he goes, do
you know why I liked it? Is because it honestly was like the first time. It's like if a mummy woke up from a tomb. And hadn't used his vocal cords for a millennia or more, and then he tried to laugh. That's what I felt like it was like.
My favorite part about it is that he's laughing at his own joke, and his joke is not funny or really even a joke, and he's just losing it. And clearly, it was about more than that joke. It was about Kawhi deciding he was going to be a human being again.
Yeah, he definitely. Do you think he got to the Spurs and they saw a death machine inside of him and they cultivated the death machine, and then when he left, oh my lord,
what is that? Your soup alarm?
No, it's my cell phone. Oh, I do need to set my soup alarm though. Thank you. I did forget to set my soup alarm. I wish your
soup alarm was Kawhi's laugh. I wish I could have it isolated as my ringtone, my phone tone, my waking alarm, anything. My soup alarm.
I think you can do that.
Yeah, Katie, you can totally do that.
Where is it?
Well, you download the audio and then you turn it into a ringtone.
I don't know how to do that.
Oh, okay.
I'll get someone to do that.
Did you hear the other laugh of his that they dug up from a million years ago?
From a millennia ago? No.
It was from 7 years ago or something.
Does it sound similar?
No, it sounds unsettling in a different way, I would say. Where the Raptors laugh, it's like, this one is a little more like,
like a cough.
Yeah, they're asking him some question, and he's like, "Well, it's personal. It's personal."
It is like his body is just in a state of like panic or shock, like really similar to when you're about to throw up, and you're making all sorts of sounds.
Outstanding. I love it.
I hope there's more of it though, because I could really see like the glimmer of hope there for me. And it's great if he's loosening up enough to make those weird sounds,
Okay, but what do you think about Nick Nurse?
I don't trust him.
No, why not?
I just don't like him for any reason. But I mean, like I don't have a reason. That's what I mean.
Is this like just because you feel bitter about Dwayne or what?
No, I feel like I was fine with Dwayne, but what I thought, to be real, is if you're going to fire Dwayne, why don't you try a little bit harder to get like a completely new coach who's going to, approach it a bit differently than one of Dwayne's guys.
Yeah, but
basically.
in fairness, they were really good last year.
Yeah. But there's still something that happens, in the playoffs specifically, where it doesn't matter how good they appear to be in the regular season. And I get that was a Dwayne thing, that's like he's not the best at like coming up with those plays on the fly, or he's too slow to make adjustments. But I mean, it's not that I'm like ready to be convinced by Nurse, like I'm ready to see what he's got. But I guess for me, I kind of wish if you're going to like fire this coach, like why not go a crazy other route, or like use it as a springboard to get someone, very different for the franchise, or like someone that's much more progressive.
Like who? Like who?
Well, I mean, I'm very stoked we didn't get Boldenhoser. That was like my nightmare.
Well, why? Why?
He just like doesn't fit. Like he doesn't fit the Raptors franchise at all. And in terms of like old guard coaching styles, like I don't think he would have come in and done things much differently. Like he's a different style of coach for sure, but I don't think it's one that really would have gelled with the Raptors.
Yeah, it would be a little weird for their roster. All the sort of extreme like spacing type stuff.
Sweet and like funny, sensitive boys, and they don't need that. I mean, obviously, my dream was like, why didn't they interview Becky Hammon? I don't know why they didn't do that. They seem to interview all these other nobodies. I guess my big fear with Nick Nurse is like they did a couple interviews, they brought in some other coaches, and then they were kind of like, oh shit, like it's a pretty narrow, like slim pickings right now. We better just hire somebody, I don't feel like they made that decision and they didn't have someone lined up, or maybe they had someone lined up, you never heard about it, and it fell through.
Nick Nurse coached in the D League for 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm sure he'll be fine. I just like he's just kind of the same guy. That's all.
He's a 2-time NBA D League champion.
And I don't like his glasses very much.
He's also a 2-time British Basketball League champion. Huh.
Yeah.
This is a weird career this dude has had. Northern Iowa, and then after you're coaching at Northern Iowa, he immediately works for the Derby Storm, which is in the British Basketball League. Who works for the British Basketball League?
UK, which I actually think is pretty cool. When they thought they could like do one over there.
It's cool, but it's a little odd.
Okay, but there's a guy.
The Manchester Giants. I'm looking at the Manchester Giants right now. Manchester Giants have a cool fucking logo.
There's a guy the Raptors also got in the trade who nobody talks about. So let's talk about Danny Green. What do you think about Danny Green, Katie?
Oh, I like Danny. I'm excited to see him. I honestly never watched him very much in San Antonio, so I can see him fit in with the team, but I'm excited to see what he does. Though my biggest favorite and strange anticipation is leaning towards Greg Monroe.
Oh, I forgot Monroe.
Tell me more about your anticipation of Greg Monroe.
I feel like he's poised to have a revenge year against the Celtics. And I think it's going to happen in Toronto.
You think they just got him so that he can press
revenge.
his beans into the Celtics?
Yeah, so he can take his revenge. No, I think he didn't get many minutes at all last year. He's like, I guess I really, I followed him very closely during his summer vacation, and I just fell for him there. I can't wait to see what he does.
What kind of summer vacation was he having?
He had a late summer vacation, which, is a rare thing in the world of NBA summer vacations. He went to Mexico, and he was always posing with a bottle of water.
Staying
and
hydrated.
he has captions like "big, big water."
Wait a minute.
So I can't wait for that. Other than that, he just seems like he is a good fit with the Raptors, and that he's kind of a weird misfit who's going to find his way in Toronto, like they always seem to do, or the good ones seem to do.
Part of what made the Raptors good last year and in recent years was that they went deep on the bench because they had a pretty good understanding of what everybody's specific skills were, and not trying to fit everybody into the same style necessarily. It was more like lineup, flexible. And I feel like maybe Greg Monroe didn't do well on the Celtics because they weren't exactly that way all the time, maybe.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't know. He reminds me of when Amir came to Toronto, Amir Johnson, and he really found his way, or Patrick Patterson before he kind of got a bit too moody at the end of his time here. But I think he'll do really well here. I'm calling it. So I hope he doesn't prove me wrong.
As recently as when he was on the Bucks facing the Raptors in the playoffs, Monroe was still a good bench player. He could come in and just play bully ball and knock dudes around and score a lot. And, I think he could probably still do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Not to get all
Stop.
Nate and Danny on here, but spacing, switchiness. Whoa. 1,000,000 years old.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's a lot of humanity is lost in that perspective, of course. So, who's your favorite young guy on the Raptors right now, Katie?
Still Fred VanVleet.
Oh, that's right. You're deep in the hole for VanVleet.
The Veet floor.
Deep in the FVV hole.
Yeah. Oh, it is the VV hole.
I feel like Fred gets so much love, and it's deserved. But he's very good. But I think a lot of it is also just because his name is very novel. Let's be honest. You don't think so?
No, but I do remember the phenomenon of before he was getting much coverage, and he would kind of get thrown a bone here or there in articles, and there was always a contention point with the spacing of his last name. Is there a space between Van and Vliet or not? And there was no, before people really knew who he was, you could kind of trace by his rise to when people just nailed it and it was consistent. Because before people knew who he was, it was completely inconsistent.
But I feel
like it was disrespectful.
Did anybody ever go with a dash? His parent, his mom was Donna Van and his dad was Jeff
thank God. I mean, probably somewhere, but not that I saw. And good luck for that person if they did that.
You know who my favorite is DeLon Wright. I really like DeLon Wright.
Oh, yeah. DeLon's good. Did you watch the Serge Ibaka cooking show with the bench on it? Have you watched that yet? You got to watch it.
Okay, speaking of Serge Ibaka, though, isn't he sort of like a bit of a sore spot? Isn't he a sort of source of concern?
For me, I just think Serge is he's just setting up his next career, and he's been doing that. I don't really think Serge cares about basketball anymore, and I don't think he really did last year. He's so hot and cold. And it was always maybe a half a secret, and now he's got this show, and he's really putting a lot of effort into it.
Wait, what show?
He has a cooking show where he's a host, and he cooks he cooks Congolese food for people, but it's kind of almost what's that show where they're you're gonna go in a vat of ants? Fear Factor. It's almost half Fear Factory, just because he's kind of trying to shock everybody. He serves the bench lamb brains, and then DeRozan is on one, and he serves him worms.
Serge Ibaka.
Worms.
But he does this big reveal where he's like, it's like under a, like what is it? The lid, like some big lid, like silver lid, and he takes it off and he's like, aha. And everyone has like a shocked moment.
Does Serge like have it? Like is he like, could he host a cooking show?
He could host it, but I'll be honest, like there's not a lot. It's supposed to be a cooking show, but there's like, you don't really ever see him cooking. Like there's no process. He's just like, usually he's like, okay, so for the worms, he's like, okay, I do them with olive oil, salt, and pepper. And then he just leaves them and serves them over just like plain white rice. And then for the lamb brains, he's like, he sears them a bit. He does them with butter. And then he like uses this prepackaged herb mix that's like comes out in like a dollop. It's like a liquid thing. So he like squeezes it onto the lamb brains and it looks disgusting. He's like, I add the herbs, but it's like, you need to know the process of like what he's adding. Why? Is there some kind of thing that you add? So there's like, good acidity, like cooking stuff, but he never really focuses on that. He's just like, yeah, I make it and then they're gonna eat it. So I feel like as a second career, I know maybe he's like not fully focused on it, but if he wants to make a good run of it, like he's got to up that side of his career.
Yeah, because you can't just put herb pockets on something on a damn cooking show.
Yeah, I don't know how he'll do this year. I don't know that it matters. Like again, he's so sporadic. Like when he shows up, he's great. If he doesn't, it doesn't seem like it's too big of a deficit,
Well, I just felt like, the Raptors lost to LeBron again last year, and people attribute it to various things, somewhat to Dwayne Casey, somewhat to just like Jamar not playing necessarily his best ball. I felt like Serge Ibaka was maybe the biggest problem in that series.
Really?
He was not very good, right?
But he's like that. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and assume you didn't watch the Raptors all year, because that's what he does all year. So he actually played nominally better in the playoffs. Like he showed up more than I would say he did throughout the regular season.
Well, there you have it.
John
nothing against Serge.
Another mistake.
Another mistake by John.
Yeah. I'm just looking at his numbers from the playoffs last year. They're not good.
Would you say they're pedestrian if you were gonna?
I'm not trying to be mean. Just being objective about it. I would say that they're pedestrian. Yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
Wow.
He's got a TV show he's working on. I don't know.
Okay. So we've been talking about the Raptors. I think we should start talking about our next topic.
Wait, Corbin, did you find Big Water?
Oh, I found his Instagram. I didn't find Big Water yet. I'm sorry.
Damn, that's all right. Might be a deep dive. Huh? Get it? Water.
Oh my God.
Interesting. I get it for sure, but do I want to get it? It's hard to say.
You like jokes. This whole podcast. It's about jokes.
Yeah, there are a lot of jokes on this podcast.
Funny jokes.
I am looking at his Instagram. He does frequently post with a bottle.
Yeah,
of
there
water.
There are three pictures in a row where he's holding a bottle of water. Oh wait, is it this one? Oh no, yeah, I found Big Water. Big Water. There are 4 pictures in a row of him with a water bottle. I'm looking at this other one right before it. Don't see a water bottle. Also, I'm checking out this one after it. Ugh, it's a video. I can't even. But yeah, there are 4 pictures in a row of him on his vacation in Mexico where he's holding a bottle of water.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, just letting the fans know, hey, I might be out here having a good time in Mexico, but I'm not gonna be cramping next year. All right.
He's ready.
What's our second? Yeah, John is like trying to like force a topic change really hard.
I get a little anxious sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, we get a topic change.
Oh my God.
That is what you sound like. Thank you, Katie. That's what John always sounds like when he starts to get antsy. Oh my God. We have not. It's been 2 weeks since he was brought into our lives, and yet here on Take It or Break It, we have not had occasion to talk about the new king of mascots.
We briefly touched on him.
Well, yeah, but in a back alley. But 2-0 in your heart. Number one. No, okay, I'm sorry. 00s in your scorebook. Number one in your heart for the Philadelphia Flyers. It's motherfucking Gritty, baby. Ow, ow. So,
what sound does he make? Does he have a sound yet?
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
he's silent.
He is a chaos man. John has sent us a video here of Gritty going to Adventure Aquarium in Camden, New Jersey, and just ripping stuffed animals off of the shelves and stomping on them. This is the kind of thing that Gritty gets up to. He's a madman.
I'm a really big fan of this video. He's just stomping all over a bunch of stuffed sharks. He's destroying the merchandise, basically.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful. I mean, he's clearly anti-capitalist. That much.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has been appropriated by Antifa almost immediately. And, I just really respect it.
And, I have some fraught feelings about that, just because it's sort of like, it's a little unsettling to me, just because it's like we're running away with this fictional version of Gritty. We're making him into our own, and that's fun in a lot of ways. But the reality of the situation is that he is, of course, the intellectual property of a very large entertainment company, the National Hockey League, and and the reality is that they set him up to be in like a sponsored content video with Barstool Sports, and I'm still trying to come to terms with that. You
know what I say? I say that you can just take anything. Does this make sense? Like
if we project our own shit onto Gritty aggressively enough, then like whatever the Flyers and NHL tries to do with him won't matter.
Yeah.
But have you guys read, like, I will say, I just looked at his wiki for the first time, and the opening line is like extremely existential. Gritty is a 7-foot furry orange creature with googly eyes who wears Flyers gear. It doesn't even say that he's their mascot. Just that he's a creature who wears their clothes.
He just enjoys Flyers gear.
Well, did you see the official origin story of him that they put out when they announced him? It's like kind of like unsettling and awesome.
No, I didn't see that. That's like right up my alley, though.
Yeah, it was something about how he had like been living in the stadium for decades.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
he was trapped, or he was like a monster that lived there.
I think that he just lives there peacefully. I don't think they get like into whole trapping narratives, but yeah, they talk about how he like lived. I'm seeing if I can try to find it, but they talk about how he lived in the stadium for decades, and they're like, "All right, you can finally come out now." Like he was just living in some secret compartment.
Ooh.
May I ask a question? If this is part of his canon, then why isn't he a Sixers fan?
It's a great question.
True.
Do they have a mascot?
Yeah, it's a dog, right?
Yeah, Franklin the Blue
Franklin
Dog.
the Blue Dog. Oh, yeah. Remember they didn't have a mascot for a long time, though, and they did a recent contest. And there were 3 nominees, and one of them was Ben Franklin, and they didn't take Ben Franklin, and I've just always thought that was a real missed opportunity.
You wanted it to be Ben Franklin.
Yeah, of course I did. How fun would it be if you went to a Sixers game and there was a big cartoon Ben Franklin strolling around?
I think it should be a big Liberty Bell.
Huh? That could be fun, too. What if, hear me out here, it's Ben Franklin mashed up with the Liberty Bell? Like it's
like
the
he's
Liberty...
wearing it?
No,
or
like it's the
clothes?
Liberty Bell with Ben Franklin features.
Oh, I would like that.
Anyway,
sounds a little too ambitious.
This
honestly.
is all to say that maybe Franklin's a little underwhelming. I don't know. I'm just looking at him right here. He's just a blue dog. He's like,
he's not like the best of the NBA mascots.
He's the Shocker mascot, basically, except he's awake instead of sleeping.
Gritty is I mean, I frankly don't remember a mascot ever coming to the world with even half this amount of fanfare, or even like 25%.
No. Well, Pierre the Pelican, there was a lot of talk, but it was because he was horrifying.
Yeah, then they changed his face,
and now he's not. And now he's like not horrifying. He's fine now, but when he first came out, he was like a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody cared, right? Like they cared because he was horrifying.
Yeah, I think people cared.
I don't know, but nobody cared when they changed him.
Yeah, no, not really. I think that I think that a lot of people, if you said Pierre the Pelican to them, the Pierre in their minds is old Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even know what the new one looks like, honestly. I mean, I saw it, but I forgot. But so
just
Gritty,
like friendlier.
He's got a big yellow nose.
What precisely is it that makes Gritty so distinct?
I don't know. I'm just staring at him right now. His big eyes.
The eyes.
The eyes are
actually,
definitely
like, mesmerizing.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, they kind of like wobble around. They're huge, and they just kind of like wobble around in his dome. They are.
Like, if you're looking at a picture of him, do you find my eyes like lose focus when staring at his eyes?
You feel like it has a
like he
spiritual
puts me
power
under a
over you?
trance. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if I go that far, but
oh, I do.
And the way they like wiggle around and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
And I haven't seen like, aside from that shark video that Wilmes just shared, I haven't seen him live, so I didn't know that his eyes wiggle. But the pictures I have seen him with his mouth open and his little tongue are also pretty unsettling.
I think that another thing about it is that he's human.
Is he? Human-esque.
Yeah. Human-esque.
Yeah,
he's the right amount of human to draw us in.
He's not an animal. You know what
is
what I mean? What animal could he possibly be?
Like a Yeti?
That's not a real thing.
Yeti is not a real animal. Yeti, the Yeti is us
Says you.
implying ourselves onto a fake animal.
No, I don't think you guys are crypto heads like me. I mean, cryptid, not crypto.
Well, you also love crypto, though. You love,
I love
the blockchain.
You know me, I love a Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Okay, he's like an orangutan, kind of, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I'll give you that.
No, because orangutans have like big, long arms.
That's true.
This is what I think Gritty is. I think that Gritty is a human being subjected to insane conditions who has like gone to seed in such a vicious way that he appears not quite human anymore. But I think that he maintains a sense of himself as a human, even if it is a human who has completely lost his mind.
And he somehow has a sense of humor through all of this.
Yeah, exactly. He's known worse, Worse,
I just want to know, like, what the points were that they had to hit on when they created him.
Well, yeah, apparently he needed to be orange. That was very important to them.
Are his eyes like the inside of the Flyers pea? Like that? There's like that little egg in the middle.
Oh, Katie, I suspect that you probably know more about hockey than I do.
Fuck no, I don't.
Oh.
They don't.
You really don't?
No, I'm just looking at pictures of Gritty and he's wearing the jersey. You don't think that
you, just by virtue of you being a Canadian, know more about hockey than I do?
No, I don't know. We could like do a quiz, but I don't think so.
Who won the Stanley Cup last year?
I don't know. Was it the Predators?
I also don't know. Wilmes, do you know?
I know, because people talk about things on Twitter. It was Washington.
Oh, you know what? I did know that because of Ovechkin.
Yeah, Ovechkin.
See, you know more than me. So.
Do you not know who Ovechkin is?
I know who he is. I don't know where he plays.
Okay.
It's Washington.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to like Canada shame you or anything.
I don't feel shame.
Okay, good.
Does Gritty feel shame?
No, I don't think so.
Absolutely not. This is another aspect of Gritty's existence that I think makes him notable, is that the guy who's performing Gritty is doing just a fucking hell of a job out there. I
picture the guy who he looks just like Gritty.
It's hard not to imagine. Like he takes it off and it looks like Justin Turner, like red hair, red beard.
Maybe.
Do you think that
more
he looks
like
at,
extreme?
do you think that he does like the persona thing where he looks in the mirror sometimes and like Gritty's head is there and then the camera sort of combines and his face is mushed up with Gritty's face and he sort of loses track of where he ends and Gritty begins?
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to start that way. Like, I don't think he intentionally did that, but now that's what happened.
Yeah, he was like, fun job, good paycheck. He's
like, I can keep it separate. I can compartmentalize this job in my real life.
But now he tries to go on a date and he gets distracted for a second and looks off at something else going on in the thing and the person he's going on a date with goes, blah, 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 whatever his name is. But he hears Gritty, and he turns back to look at her, and his mouth is like open in that Gritty smile, and his eyes kind of like wiggle around in his head a little bit.
Or he goes to the bathroom and comes back as Gritty.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, maybe a little less subtle, but yeah. And he's just like, "Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom," and then he comes back in the Gritty costume.
I think Kelly Olynyk should be Gritty for Halloween.
No, certainly.
What do we think Gritty's love life is like?
I think did you see these pictures of him with Philly the Fanatic?
Yeah.
I think that's a connection.
You think so?
Yeah.
Katie, I really want to thank you for calling the Fanatic Philly the Fanatic.
Isn't it the Fanatic? Philly Fanatic.
Yeah, it's just the Philly Fanatic.
So what did I say?
You said Philly the Fanatic.
He seems like a fanatic for the
Well, he is. I mean, look,
baseball.
he is. Look, you know what? That's fair. But I don't think his name is Philly. I think his name is Fanatic. But he is
It could be Philly.
I'm watching this footage. I'm watching this footage. I don't know if Gritty and the Fanatic are fucking.
Are you seeing them doing this like hula hoop dance together?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty erotic.
You think that there's a sexual energy there?
It's like mesmerizing. Who knows?
True.
They seem like they could be in the same like subspecies.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I always feel like the Fanatic reads as a bird, personally.
The Fanatic is also more unsettling to me, actually.
Wait, why so?
You mean Philly? Philly the Fanatic?
Yeah, you mean
Philly, yeah. Green Phil, as he's called. His mouth, that weird like circular wall, it looks like he was like that's part of his creation that went horribly wrong. Like, I don't think he should have that mouth, Gritty just looks, as Corbin described him, sort of weathered by experience. He doesn't look like he was any part of him was a mistake per se. I feel
Corbin, I think you should be Gritty for Halloween.
God damn it. You happy? You happy we landed on it finally? Huh? Corbin's got a beard, he's got red hair, he looks like fucking Gritty? Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Congratulations,
guys.
Job.
40 minutes to get there. Unfucking believable.
He's beloved, Corbin.
Well, yeah, look, and I'm also beloved.
It only makes sense.
I don't know. I don't really go out on Halloween. And do you guys still go out on Halloween?
No.
Okay, yeah. Do you, Wilmes?
I went to a party last year.
What'd you dress
like
as?
to a party or like out?
No, not like trick-or-treating. like going to a party.
Oh. Not recently. The last time I went out on Halloween, I went as a ghost, like a sheet ghost. And I went to a hardcore show and no one knew who I was, which was fun at first. But then I think all these very aggro hardcore dudes didn't like me because they thought I was like, I don't know, they were scared of me or they were like, who's this person? And they just kept trying to throw me in the pit. And my eye holes kept getting pulled up over my head. And it was really scary for a minute because I couldn't see anything. And I couldn't break character.
Oh, no, certainly not. John, who'd you go as?
Last year, I mean, I didn't really have a costume. I had like a bear hat that I bought. Ugh. It had like made me look like I was wearing a bear mask, like half wearing a bear mask. So that's what I did.
I have never felt older than I do right now, I think. And just talking to people about not going out for Halloween or dressing up for Halloween, really. I also don't do it. I don't care for it personally. I can't speak for you guys, but I find the whole holiday a little suspect.
Oh, it's fine. But mostly now it's like, what day does it fall on? I feel like for the past few years, it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then it's like, as I get older, when it rolls back around to Friday or Saturday, I don't care anymore. Too old.
Yeah, I don't like it that much because it's just a little too much novelty for me personally. People are like really putting a lot of effort into their costumes, and then they like really want you to like talk to them about it for a while. And honestly, I don't care about the costumes. I just want to talk to people and drink beer. And then everybody's like, "Oh, but my costume and whatever." And I'm like, I don't know.
You just walk away.
Kinda. Yeah.
What you do is you find Heiken, and you say, "Heiken, ask this person about their costume," and then Heiken does that, and you go walk somewhere else.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was pregnant one year. That was a good costume, I thought.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Were you just dressed like you, and then you put like a pillow? That's pretty good.
Yeah. Everybody was like, "What are you?" Everybody was like, "Are you Juno? Ellen Page from Juno?" And I was just like, "No, I'm just pregnant. It's not a movie thing."
Was it that year?
No, it wasn't even close.
Oh, really?
There was like a several-year gap. Or people would be like, they would always try to like contextualize it in some sort of movie or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm just pregnant.
They couldn't get their heads around it, right? Oh. I'm surprised no one was like, "Are you Junior? Are you Arnold Schwarzenegger and Junior?"
People definitely asked me that.
Oh.
But I was like, no, I'm wearing like a purple zip-up hoodie. He doesn't wear that in the movie, like, ever.
Have you seen Junior, Wilmes?
I haven't, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't wear any purple hoodies.
Katie, have you seen Junior?
Yeah, a long time ago. It's like, I rewatched it, and it's like, it's like disturbing a little bit.
How does he get pregnant? Like, what's the excuse they use?
I don't think it's an excuse. I think it's like, I don't even remember. It's either he like wants to be a father, or it's like he's a he's a scientist, I think.
And
he's
very
like,
believable.
I need to try it on myself, this science experiment. I forget how Danny DeVito is involved.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Is Danny DeVito in that movie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huh. Could have fooled me. Didn't know that part.
Yeah. You don't remember the poster? It's Schwarzenegger. He's pregnant. Somebody's putting a stethoscope to his tums, and DeVito's there.
I think DeVito's the doctor. I don't know.
You
gotta see it.
I bet you he's a real dirtbag in it.
He's just Danny DeVito.
Yeah. The Veet Lord. Ugh. Terrible.
I can't find a picture of me in the pregnancy costume.
That's too bad.
I'm sorry. Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I'm definitely fine. I just wish that I could share it with you guys. That's all.
Did you feel like you looked convincingly pregnant?
No. I searched the word pregnant within my Gmail to see if I'd sent a picture of it, but it basically just shows. It just shows
all your pregnancy fetish newsletters you have.
No, there's just like a whole page of emails from Kamala Harris, and being like, pregnant women deserve better rights and all this.
True.
Don't get me wrong. Pregnant women deserve better rights. Oh, you'll have to forgive me. I have to go check on my soup.
Oh my God.
Real quick, what kind of soup is it?
I'll tell you when I get back.
Okay. He'll tell
He doesn't even know yet.
Are you gonna dress up for Halloween this year?
No, I don't think so. What day is it on?
I thought Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Yeah, probably not.
But somebody might invite you to a party on the weekend.
Maybe. You know, I will say, like, the last 4 years that I went out for it, I was just the same thing. I was a sheet ghost with sunglasses and a hat, and I liked that costume a lot.
It's a good costume.
Just like a cool ghost.
I have a hot dog costume I might throw on.
That's pretty good.
Just wearing the hot dog suit.
I'll say now, if someone invites me into a party, I'll go.
You'll go.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be in Michigan.
That's cool.
Just like a lake house. Which to me means we can escape Halloween and not wear costumes. But to the people who are inviting me, it actually means let's bring our costumes to the lake house.
There's a murder movie called The Lake House, isn't there? Or is The Lake House the romantic movie with time traveling?
Well, let's do a quick Google. The Lake House movie. Is it a murder? Is it a romance? Who knows? It's a romance.
Oh, okay.
It's got Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
All right, Soup Boy, tell us what's going on.
Guys, I need to talk to you about this soup for a minute.
Oh boy.
First off, it's lentil soup.
Okay, I didn't expect that.
What did you think it was going to be?
That's a curveball. I figured you for some kind of chowder guy.
Well, I'm a vegetarian.
You could do a chowder with nothing in it.
What would I put in a chowder? I guess corn chowder.
And corn and cream?
Right. I mean, I like chowder. It's just not the soup I usually make. But I appear to have screwed this one up a little bit, guys. Because there's a lot of lentil in there and not a lot of soup. It's like just a big old pot of lentils.
Are you keeping the lid on?
No, no, you're not supposed to keep the lid on. Or maybe
you should keep the lid on now.
Was I supposed to keep the lid on?
Now you should.
Fuck, was I supposed to keep the lid on? One sec.
I generally keep the lid on.
I like to keep it on in like a tiny little crack, you know?
I might have forgot how to make this soup, guys.
It seals.
Just add more water.
Seals flavors in.
Yeah, seals flavors in.
Cover and cook.
Oh.
At a low. Jesus God in heaven. Ugh.
You don't want to let those flavors.
I've made this soup probably a dozen times, and I fucking forgot to cook it, and I fucking forgot to cover it.
Classic gritty mistake.
And it was with the broth I made. I made broth last week. I made vegetable broth because I get this imperfect produce, right? And sometimes when you do that, you end up having too many vegetables, and so I had a bunch of old vegetables, so I turned them into broth. And then I was like, I'm gonna eat some of the broth's in the freezer, but this broth wasn't in the freezer. So I was like, I'm gonna use the broth and make this soup. And I made the soup, and I fucked it up, and now I've just got a bunch of lentils.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, it's probably fine. Lentils are good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm whining too much.
Hey, it sounds like a good lentils to me.
Thank you. You know what? Thank you, John.
I was going to say it sounds like a good soup, but it sounds like it's just lentils.
Yeah.
It's just lentils, I think.
Yeah, it honestly might just be lentils. I made hummus this weekend.
You're a bean fanatic. You're a bean freak.
Lentils aren't a bean.
A legume.
Yeah, that's fair. But
Can I read you guys the last line of the gritty description in Wikipedia?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Many sources brought attention to his appearance, which could be construed as frightening.
Wow. Some have construed it as frightening.
I think Gritty wrote this.
Yeah.
It used to say adorable, but Gritty got in there and was like, that's not what I'm going for here. I'm a terror.
Do you want to talk about Jay Cutler? Or
yeah.
What?
Yeah. Okay. So we've been trying to have Katie on for months at this point because we wanted to talk to Katie because Katie watched the new Kristen Calavari reality program that Jay Cutler is prominently featured in. And we wanted to talk to her about Jay Cutler, who I can't speak for Wilmes, but I think Cutler is the greatest football player who ever lived. Wilmes, your thoughts?
I'm not going to go that far, but I like him.
Yeah. I like that he doesn't give a fuck and sort of mopes around and just, trumps. John, are you the one who told me the story about him yelling "Don't care" at somebody?
Yeah, don't care.
Yeah. Can you just retell that one real quick?
Basically, the story is he was at some bar in Chicago, and he was pretty drunk, and somebody came up to him being like, "Oh, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm your biggest fan," or whatever. And he just was like, "Don't care." And that was it. That's how he responded to a fan trying to hang out with him. And that was everybody in Chicago would tell that story. Some people thought it was like a negative thing about him. I always thought it was,
yeah, that
funny.
shit rules. That's good. Who's this doofus who's like, be my friend? Anyway, so Katie watched the show to write about it, and
I wrote an entire weekly column on it, and we still never talked about it.
Yeah,
but we are now.
Yeah, we are now. Tell us about Jay Cutler on this show.
Where do I start? Well, I had no idea who he was before I got asked to do this, so that was a cool surprise. I didn't think I would ever like any football player, and I did, because I just laughed so hard the first time he was on the show. I also didn't understand. I thought at first the show was about him, and then I think because of the way I was like covering the show, it did become only about him. And then when I would search the show to watch it, I would search Uncommon Jay instead of Very Cavallari, which is what the show's called.
Uncommon Jay is the name of Katie's column. It's over at by Sports, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry. I just assumed everyone would have read it by now. But I don't know. Like, he's just a weird bozo, like gross, underachieving, really relatable doofus who is so sad but like doesn't care about anything. And he just like sits in the kitchen of their like mansion on the kitchen island. Every time he's in the show, he's just sitting there eating or drinking or like having food made for him or just being like fixating on one thing every episode. And most of the time it was just about he wants to get a new house because he wants to get goats.
Wait, hold on. Why does Cutler want goats?
He just thinks they're cool. Apparently some of his friends have them and they use them on their lawns for fertilizer. So he's like fixated on this idea of getting these pygmy goats. There's like this one episode where he's sitting around playing poker with his other like doofus idiot friends, and they're all just talking about the kind of goats that they have and like who's their goat guy and who Jay Cutler should go to as like a reliable goat guy. And you could just see him getting more and more frazzled and kind of upset because he's like, he wants to do it his way. And he doesn't want to be like sidetracked even by the best intentions of his friends. And then in the end, he gets his way. He wins. They buy a new house. They basically move an hour outside of Nashville, which it never makes sense to me why they live in Nashville because they're not from there. They just went there once and they liked it. No.
I think the Jay is from, he played college in Tennessee at Vanderbilt. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's like there's no specific, you never see his family. They're never like, he hangs out with like two bozos only ever. Otherwise, he doesn't do anything.
I kind of feel that way about Wilmes and Joey Devine, so I can relate.
But there's no reason he should be there, and it's like it doesn't really talk at all about his like football career, which is fine. It's not his show, I get it, but like if you didn't know who he was and you were just like a big Kristen fan, then you'd be like, who is this deadbeat who's just hanging around all day?
But then like I think they probably get into his finances at some point on the show, right?
No, they never do, because she's always like, that's my money. And he's like, it's half of my money. She's like, it's more of my money.
Wait, how does she have more money than him? He was a professional football quarterback for.
Like, I'm sure at one point he did. I think now, like, she's probably making more money. Like, she's making money. I don't know that Jay Cutler's making money anymore.
He's not doing deals.
You know, I don't know.
He made a lot.
Yeah.
He did grow up not far from Nashville.
Okay.
He grew up in like southern Indiana, basically.
But that's still like not. You know what I mean? He's not like, let's move home, babe. Let's start our family. They just,
that is the biggest town. Like, that's like the closest big city to where he lives, though.
Okay, but he's like, he doesn't like music. Like, I don't even mean country music. Like, there's no indication that he likes, like, he has any hobbies.
Except for goats.
Except for goats, yeah. And, like, briefly chickens a little bit.
I love it when people have weird hobbies that they act are completely, like, normal and, in fact, the only hobby that anyone should have. Which it seems like how he is about these goats.
Yeah, I think so. He also is just, like, he's like, never dresses properly. Like, he kind of is just, like, a big baby all the time. Like, he's in way too many layers. He's wearing, like, huge puffy vests inside the house. He's always pouting.
He made around $100 million. Sorry,
Okay.
I looked it up. I just needed to know.
Yeah,
and I mean, that makes sense to me because I feel like you can only be this way and be rich, you know? And like traipse around a giant house by yourself, like wearing God knows what, always just like drinking a hot cocoa, which he's always just drinking a huge mug of something or like red wine.
So it's either a mug of something or red wine?
Yeah.
Is it sometimes a mug of red wine?
I can't see what's in the mug, so it could be.
Did you get like into the other aspects of the show, or when he was off the screen, where you're just like, "Come on, when's he gonna get back on the screen?"
Was it like was it like Poochie? You know,
it was hard to. Well, I feel like it became. They probably didn't know when they started the show that he would steal the show. I don't think he knew either. Like, I don't think he knew that he was while he was doing it.
Do you think he knows yet?
Do you think he knows he's on the show? I'm not sure.
Do you think he knows he's stolen the show yet, though? Like,
yeah, I think you could see like little flourishes of it in the last few episodes. He would kind of like talk a bit more or be a little bit sly, you know, which for him would just be like blinking longer, or like giving a sideways glance to no one. So he probably knows now, and I think they're going to definitely make a few storylines with him in it a lot more for the next season.
Oh, thank God.
The rest of the show is just like Kristen's employees for her store who are like 20-year-old wealthy, like Nashville people. And then they're very idiotic. This was one thing. They all were dating like the lamest dudes, like more baby dudes, but like in a different way than Jay Cutler, and they made Jay Cutler look like the most like incredible man. Like I was gonna
say, do all of Kristen's employees are they all like dating like kickers?
No, they're like I'm a country musician. They're all like I want to be a country musician, but they like don't know anything. One of them was like, I don't know what he did. He kind of looked like he could have been in the Black Keys like a long time ago, and then like got kicked out. He just like didn't fit the vibe of like the rest of the show. So I think he'll be off the show. But he would always be like,
wait, he's like a jean. He's like a jean jacket guy. This guy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm edgy, but he's not. He's just like
because he's on Kristen Calvari's reality show.
And he would always be like, babe, can you make me an egg?
He was always requesting a single egg.
Or like something, and she'd be like, I have to go to work. And he's like, you don't care about me or our relationship. And then she'd be like, what are you talking about? And they'd be like, calm down, babe. Like that kind of guy. And so then it would go to Jay, and you're like, this guy's got his shit together.
Do you like watch regular reality TV, or just this?
No, I just watched this. I don't know. Like,
why did Sean give you this job?
Because he knew I would be good at it. And
I guess that's fair.
Probably because he knew Jay Cutler would speak to something deep in me.
Yeah,
I feel like Sean is good at like figuring that stuff out for people.
Yeah, digging up their
true.
innermost truth.
It's true. Like Jay brought something out in me.
What did he bring out in you?
Just like that you could be this way. Just like you could just not give a shit in the most like spectacular way. And I don't actually know what he brought out of me.
Yeah.
He brought out in me that I became weirdly obsessed with Jay Cutler, and that's not something I would even expect myself to say or like know those words 2 months ago.
He was definitely my I hate to say favorite football player, but like he was kind of my favorite football player because I like.
Was he ever good?
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was.
Okay,
he was good.
It's. I mean,
part of it that it makes him a tragic figure is that he was on the Bears for many years and he was actually quite good, but the team was never good around him, and specifically the offensive line wasn't good, so they didn't like protect him, and he just got battered over and over again.
Yeah. And he wasn't the kind, and he was also like not the kind of dude to like whine about it or anything like that, or to throw off the appearance of caring too much that he was getting sacked all the time. And so people would be like, "Oh, Jay Cutler doesn't care about football," and shit like that, just because he doesn't, do the fucking song and dance where he, is like trying to sell nootropics to
he's not like Peyton
Brady.
Manning.
Yeah, he's not like Brady or Manning. Like he doesn't want to sell anything to anybody. He just wants goats.
Which to me makes it more likable.
Yeah. No. Yes. Exactly. Like the thing that makes Cutler great is that he was a great quarterback. Is that he was an extraordinarily skilled quarterback who didn't give a shit about any of the stuff that anybody expects from you. And I think that's like fucking cool. There's probably basketball players like that too. John, can you think of anybody?
Oh,
gosh. Katie too. Katie, you also watch basketball.
Briefly,
yeah. Thank you.
Briefly, Andrew Bynum. I mean, was really good.
Oh yeah, I always thought that after Bynum knocked Barea out of the air, that I think that he like sat down and watched that and was just like, "That's not the person I am."
I think now it's like Boogie. Now
Boogie's
and like
that,
for a couple years.
Yeah,
I think
Boogie wants to win a lot though.
Yeah, but like technically
Not
so
sure
does
that he
Jay.
I'm not sure that he does. I think he went to the Warriors more as like a spite move.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
Than a like I really want to win move. I think it was more like, yeah, like you guys are sleeping on me too much, and I'm hearing a lot of bullshit, and just hey, watch this, see how you like this shit. Like,
yeah, which I like. I love that shit.
Me too. I think it's great.
There's a lot of big men who I think are like that kind of. Kareem was maybe a little like that.
I mean, it's sort of natural to become that as a big man because it's just so much harder to get up and down the floor.
But this is the thing. Like Kareem was like an asshole, but like Jay, I don't know that I would say like Jay Cutler is an asshole because there's like some intention that's missing in this personality. Like Jay Cutler is just himself.
Do you think?
Wait, I don't think like he's intentionally an asshole.
Do you think Kareem was intentionally an asshole?
Yeah, I think he like became. He's like, I'm a star, you know.
He definitely didn't care for white people.
Fair enough.
And I think that he.
What about Pat Riley?
Also, he became an asshole. He cared. I think he cared too much, and that's what turned him that way.
Yeah,
he came in. He was like a more of a fun-loving type of coach, and then he's like became a crazy, obsessed lunatic.
Are we talking about Pat Riley here?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I think the like laissez-faire, like lazy. I wouldn't asshole again is the wrong word, but like this kind of personality, it's like it's very rare. And it's like people strive for it, but you can't strive for it. That's the thing, because it's like the antithesis to if you strive for it, the personality ceases to exist.
Because it has to be born from a place of not caring.
Yeah, you can't try to not care. You just don't care.
Who doesn't care? Who doesn't care in the NBA right now?
I don't know. I think everyone cares a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of think so too.
Yeah, there's not that many. Deion Waiters maybe a little.
Does Kevin Love care right now?
Oh, I could really go for a Kevin Love doesn't care season. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I could,
I don't think that Kevin Love is
him growing, becoming the slob Kevin Love. We all see him.
I don't think Love has ever been that guy. I think he's pretty much always cared. But if he fucking starts taking to it, I'm gonna be all about it.
Oh, J.R. Smith. I can't believe we forgot about J.R. Smith.
He doesn't care.
He's close, right? Like, he's got that close. I think he's like I'd like to see him and Jay Cutler on a show together.
He cares about something, though. Maybe he doesn't care.
No, I think he's pure. I don't think he's like any of the stuff that he does that like gets him a lot of attention. I honestly don't think he's thinking about it that way. He's just like, this is a tight tattoo.
Then he's like surprised, and it's like a bonus. He's like, oh, people seem to care about this and are paying attention to me. This is funny.
Yeah, he's pure.
Yeah,
I'm in on that one.
Deion, I couldn't tell you one way or the other. Have you guys seen that Deion might be a little tubby again?
No.
Oh.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think the body shaming is out of control these days.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Have you guys seen? You know what? And NBA topic. Have you guys seen Doncic play yet?
I haven't.
Holy. Some people are gonna lose their jobs.
Was he bad?
No, he's good.
Oh, he's really good.
Yeah, his shot form is basically preternatural. Like his wrist snap is perfect. He's already really good at dribbling. The worst thing you can say about him is maybe his conditioning's not up to shape. But guess what? He's on a professional sports team, so that won't be a problem forever.
Like, he's so good, he's gonna get people fired.
Yeah, like whoever took Bagley and whoever traded for him. Like,
okay.
Yeah, he looks very good at basketball.
You're making me excited to watch. I don't watch any preseason though. I just like find it depressing and not indicative of anything.
Sometimes I think it takes away from this like pent up excitement that we should all be keeping for the.
I do kind of agree
opening
with that.
night.
I do kind of agree with that. Yeah, like I understand.
Like, I don't want to see this shit.
I understand why they do it. You know.
Yeah.
Both as sort of a practical consideration and as an economic one. But boy, wouldn't it be great if they could just start the damn season?
Maybe they should just like not televise it anymore.
Yeah, I see people sincerely, and it's just because they're thirsty, and I understand that, but they're like people sincerely trying to glean anything from preseason. I don't think there's literally anything that you can glean from it. Like maybe somebody comes out and they have like a new haircut that's fun to talk about or something.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
You know what I will say though? If you're gonna do a fun haircut, you should wait until preseason is over to do it.
Yeah. Don't do anything that I might want to see during the preseason.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like don't like have a party and invite a bunch of people over, but then I only invite like a few people over before and play like some really fun game before the party starts. Like, don't do that shit.
It is like a desperation time. My first piece for The Athletic was about this.
Check it out.
Speaking of desperation times.
I think it's a wonderful time for speculation, though. And speculation is a ton of fun.
No, what I specifically didn't like was just like with the Kawhi piece and the Raptors is like everyone is waiting. They're like, we got to know that he gets along with the whole team. We got to know that the team has chemistry and they're playing well together. And then it's like the first game, I think like 80 times during the game in the first like quarter, they were just like, can you believe the chemistry with these guys? Like, can you believe the chemistry on this team? It's like, he just caught the ball. Like they're just passing. It's their job. So I didn't like that. I thought it was extremely despo.
Yeah. Despo times for Despo people.
I saw look who has the highest PER in the preseason tweet, and I think the person who posted it was doing it tongue in cheek, but there were definitely replies that were like, "Yeah, Jeff Dungus is going to have a big year, man."
Was that his name, Jeff Dungus?
Well, I can't remember who it was specifically, but it was Jordan Clarkson.
Oh, it was Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
Jeff Dungus.
Yeah,
Jordan Clarkson.
Jeff Dungus. Jordan Clarkson, hereby known as Jeff Dungus.
Yeah.
Let's start a rumor about Jeff Dungus having a huge year.
Yeah.
Based on these preseason games that we've been seeing.
Jeff Dungus looking capital FIT underline.
He's ripped.
Yeah.
And he's got a crazy haircut.
Yeah.
Did you see Dungus's shooting form?
Oh my God.
It was obscene.
Yeah.
I can't believe anyone shoots like that.
Dungus's handle is unbelievable for a guy of his size.
Oh, dude, Dungus was just carving dudes.
Yeah.
He's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah. He's flushing them.
Yeah.
I love Jeff Dungus.
You guys see these recent pictures of Yao Ming standing next to people?
Next to Jeff Dungus, he makes Yao Ming look like a miniature horse.
The weird thing about it is that Jeff Dungus looks so much like a human that when other people are around him, they look like animals.
They look like Gritty.
Yeah. Yeah, I look like Gritty when you...
Next to Jeff Dungus, who doesn't? Woo.
John, did we ever talk about the sun, the Chicago White Sox sun thing?
Yeah, we did.
We did?
I think.
All right. Sorry,
Great.
it was just brought up to me again this week.
Okay, but Katie probably doesn't know the story, so we should tell it to her.
Yeah, can you tell Katie the story? Katie, you don't particularly follow baseball, right?
No, I have it muted on Twitter.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, here's the ultimate baseball story. John.
So, there's this guy he's in the playoffs now, so people are talking about him. He's on the Boston Red Sox. His name is Chris Sale. He's maybe the best pitcher in the game. He's really good. He's also a fucking maniac. He used to be on the Chicago White Sox. They eventually traded him to the Red Sox, like right around like the trade deadline a few seasons ago, and they got so many good young players from him. He's like a really valuable player. But part of him being a maniac when he was on the Chicago White Sox was that there was another guy on the team named Adam LaRoche, right? He's not a good player. He's like a veteran. Everybody knows who he is. He's never been that good.
He also coincidentally looks a lot like Gritty.
Adam LaRoche does, you think?
Yeah. It's just like he's got that. He's just like a big furry red guy.
Yeah, he does look a little bit. But so anyway, Adam LaRoche, him being a mediocre baseball player is not what's notable about him. What's notable about him is that he takes his child with him to all the team functions. And this child is not going to school. He's 12 years old. He's just with the team all the time, in the locker room, on the bus, in the dugout. And this is weird. And people on the team feel different ways about this, right? Some people think it's cool. They're like, I like having the kid around. It's fun. And some of the guys, in a way that they won't express openly, but which they probably talk about with the front office secretly, they're like, why the fuck is this kid here? I don't like this.
Did he do this all along, or did he just start doing this?
He did it for an entire season.
Okay.
And then what happened was that the front office came to a decision, and they were like, we can't have this kid around anymore. The real catch here, though, is that Chris Sale, the maniac, amazing pitcher, by far the best player on the White Sox at this time, really likes having the kid around. And after the team banishes the child, whose name is Drake, by the way, Drake LaRoche. After the team banishes this 12-year-old from being around the team, Chris Sale, on a night where they're wearing these retro uniforms that are apparently sort of uncomfortable to wear, but actually legitimately look really good, these 1983 throwbacks, Chris Sale gets a big old pair of scissors and goes into the locker room and just cuts up all the uniforms.
When you go on vacation and you make it fringe?
just like that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, he made them unwearable.
Okay.
Yeah, and they traded him a few months later, I think.
Because he was so mad about the kid?
Yeah, he was really pissed off about it. He was like, that kid was part of our team. Like, he was part of the heart of this team.
Oh my god.
There was like an interview where he like really went off about it. He was like, Drake was part of like, what defined us and all this.
That's fucked up.
Here's a story that I want to read the headline for you real quick. It's Adam Eaton, who was on the White Sox at the time, says White Sox lost a leader in Drake LaRoche.
Oh my god.
Outfielder Adam Eaton says the White Sox lost a leader who will no longer be around the team.
Like, what state is your baseball club in if this is all true?
Also, they were in a bad state at this point. It's totally different now. But also after they banished his kid, Adam LaRoche just retired. He walked away like in the middle of a big contract. He's like, I'm retired. If I can't have my kid around, I'm done playing this game.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
I mean, that's a little honorable, honestly. You don't want to miss your son's life out there on the road, but in the context of a professional environment, it's completely insane.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. And just like weird. See, I don't like baseball. That's not like a fun, weird story.
People are weird in that sport.
Yeah.
Oh, that freaks me out.
Yeah, there's a lot of like rituals and stuff in it too.
But like, is that a ritual?
In a way, I think,
Do you think he like sustained it for so long, and then like the team was used to it? They were like, we can't win without this kid here. Now it's like a playoff beard.
They weren't winning though. That's the thing.
Oh, so it didn't even work.
No, they were bad, right, John? They were bad at the time.
They were bad, and they were like bad in a like you have to scorch the earth to get better again kind of way. Now they're bad in a like they're very young kind of way.
They're good bad now.
They're good. They're good bad now. Yeah.
Adam LaRoche tattoo that he has.
Is it pretty good?
No, it's terrible. It's like a tribal outline of a deer's head because he's a hunter.
Yeah, I think he was a MAGA guy too, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's not surprising based on what this Google image search is showing me.
Didn't want to have his kid in schools,
No, because he wanted to have him at the baseball game.
Yeah, he thought his kid would learn more in the baseball locker room from a bunch of swearing old men who were probably, I think I'm maybe walking out on a branch here, but I bet there's a lot of sexism going on in the baseball locker room.
Mm-hmm.
John.
I think you're walking out on a pretty big branch anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I might fall. It's not a very stable branch.
Hey, anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, I just want to know if Jay Cutler's coming back for season 2.
That hasn't been announced?
It has been announced, but like very vaguely. Like no timeline, not when. She's not going back on the Hills reboot, which is good.
It would be funny if Cutler did and she didn't.
Yeah, I wish she did that.
Like, it's just the Hills, but Cutler's like drifting around in the background, drinking cocoa, eating soup, combing goats.
Combing his goats. No, what else? Just for the regular NBA season to start, and so we can all stop being so despo.
Yeah. It's a little sad out here.
Yeah, it's like bring your child to the baseball game, kind of sad.
I want the season to start, but I could be placated by another big dramatic saga, like the Jimmy Butler thing. That was fun. Something like that.
I kind of wish I woke up and that had happened. It was like a false Christmas.
Yeah.
But I don't think. Do you think he's gonna? I think he's not going anywhere now. Do you? Not like till mid-season. You think before the season starts?
Well, I don't know if before the season, but sooner than mid-season. He's he's effectively holding out at this point. He's not playing with them, so. It's kind of an unfixable situation. I think that they're probably just getting terrible offers, and that Tibbs is perhaps wanting too much also. But it has to go down at some point.
Yeah, I want to see him in Miami. I think he'll be a very fun guy there, and he deserves it.
He deserves it? Why does he deserve it?
Because he deserves it. I think people are like, Jimmy Butler's a lunatic. Like, he's a psycho. His work ethic is crazy. Like, I think he wants to work hard and win, but I think being in Miami, he'll have a great chance to wear all these like nice bright shirts he likes wearing in the summertime on vacation. And like, he'll be smiling, he'll be hanging out with Dwayne Wade, getting more death threats from Dwayne Wade. He'll just be like, I think he just deserves to be happy. I think he had some false promises made to him, and I think he has a vitamin D deficiency as a result.
That's true. Yeah. Playing
there. So I think he just deserves it. I like Jimmy Butler.
Would you ever play for Minnesota of your own volition?
No.
Right? Wilmes?
Even if Jimmy Butler was there. No.
I wouldn't want to play for that organization.
No. Mm-mm. I guess you do live in a snowy hell world, though.
Yeah, it's true.
That's not the reason I wouldn't want to play there. I wouldn't want to play if I could just have my pick for any team with shitty ownership, because lots of things change over time, but they're never good. And the one thing that doesn't change is the owner. And it's that way with the Timberwolves, and it's that way with the Suns, and it's that way with a number of teams. And I wouldn't want the Kings. I wouldn't want to play for any of those teams that have proved that they don't know how to get better, basically.
Corbin, you don't think Jimmy Butler deserves it to be happy?
I think everyone deserves to be happy.
Yeah, but I also think that Butler is I think he's a thorny guy, and I think that he maybe didn't put much effort into not being a thorny guy in Minnesota, and so I'm finding it hard to root for him.
But imagine how not thorny he'll be driving a convertible in Miami.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that everybody on the Timberwolves seems like a baby. I think that's a real nobody is correct situation.
Yes, I agree. I think they're all acting like babies.
I guess maybe if Karl Towns if his girlfriend actually cheated on him with Jimmy Butler, I could understand him being upset.
Takes two to tango.
Yeah, but also, maybe you need maybe you need to step your game up in that department, my dude. Mm-hmm. And B,
wow, sounding a little insane right now, Corbin.
Look, sorry, I'm just, it's time for Towns.
It's a cursed. It feels like a cursed team.
No, I have to reject that statement, Corbin. There's no cheating is never okay.
But you know what the second thing is? Everybody younger than me should be Pauly.
No, that's wrong.
It just doesn't make any sense. Anybody younger than me, I think, like, what are you doing, man?
Listen, if people want to be Pauly, that's cool. But people should be whatever they want to be, Corbin.
Well, yeah, but also, come on.
This is like
I don't think you should cheat.
I think it's switchy enough.
Yeah, I think like if you want to cheat on someone, you should just dump them.
Exactly. A lot of people, in my observations, cheat as a way to get out of the relationship.
Oh, so maybe she was just like sick of Kat.
Yeah.
It's really hard to break up with someone. But if you do something like so shitty that the relationship has to end, it makes it easier to break up.
Oh, so you think maybe she was being the ill-communicative one?
Maybe he was. We don't know.
And yeah, in this world where this 100% happened. Pardon me for.
I think it happened. I feel that it happened.
Who's the I feel like I've heard reporter type people on the DL be like, "Oh, it happened."
Scoop Jackson kind of basically said that it happened.
Yeah. Well. Are we going to act like Scoop is like 100% reliable?
With a name like Scoop.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's got the scoop. What else do you need to know?
I think Woj needs to come out and say, breaking, Karl Anthony Towns got cucked, SMH.
SMDH.
I want to start this trend that Corbin and I started getting into over the past 24 hours. Every time Woj tweets a news item, we just tweet our personal problems back at him.
Yeah. I've been doing it with Shams too, actually.
Oh, you've been doing it with Shams also?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just be like, Woj, my heart is broken. How can it ever be mended? I want hundreds of people doing this to him every time he tweets an NBA news item.
Yeah, if you're on Twitter and you see Woj tweet, just send him back a tweet about how things aren't going so good. We're trying to start the movement.
Yeah, maybe we can sort of gently over time pressure Woj into thinking he's Jordan Peterson, whispering to young men.
Woj is the funniest Jordan Peterson I think I can imagine because he's a little bloodless.
Yeah, there's no emotionality to his analysis at all, and I would like to see him attempt that. It would be super awkward.
I think he should just give relationship advice.
Yeah, Woj relationship advice.
Yeah,
he's married.
I think so. Yeah.
Woj bum.
You think he proposed?
He's married.
Do you think he got on his feet, opened the box, and was like, Woj bum?
I hope so.
Adrian Wojnarowski wife.
Whoa, they're getting creepy with the searches here, Corbin. I almost called you Jordan.
Jordan Peterson Corbin.
Yeah.
I wonder if Adrian Wojnarowski is married. I better check. Apparently, one thing says he often talks about his wife in interviews. I don't know how I feel about that.
He's like, I have one.
He's like, my wife.
Man, I feel like I'm not finding a solid. We're married. Let's ask. Is Adrian Wojnarowski married?
That's how it goes with sleuths, though. You never know about their personal lives.
Man, I don't. Yeah, I'm not finding a hard yes or no on this.
The lurkers are never the lurked.
Only one thing I can do now, and that is at Woj ESPN.
Are you married?
Hey, Adrian,
this dude. This is urgent.
Are you married? Conflicting reports on internet.
He's going to want to clear it up now. I'm glad you added the thing about the conflicting reports.
Yeah. It'll because he's a reporter. He doesn't want bad information out there.
No.
Cool. So we'll keep TOB Nation up to date on that one.
Yeah.
We've gone for an hour and a half.
Good talk.
It's a long one. Yeah, good chat.
And so we are officially in the "It's a long one" category. Katie, please promote things.
I don't know. Oh, I'm going to have something about the Lakers coming out soon.
Is there a specific publication? Or?
Yeah, for Up Rocks.
Okay.
For our good friend Martin. Keep your eyes peeled for that.
They're taking pitches again? This
is an ancient pitch.
Oh.
But you'll see when it's live, when it drops. And then I'll be on The Athletic now, around. Probably more on Raptors Republic, probably more on Vice Sports.
You're on Locked On Raptors semi-frequently, right?
Occasionally on that podcast.
You are to Locked On Raptors as I am to Locked On Blazers, as I understand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Eric hosts Locked On Blazers, so I'm on it pretty
They
frequently.
should switch us once.
I think I've been on it before.
But, you should go on as me.
And you should
I'll
go
go
on
on
there.
as you.
You should say, hi,
Yeah.
I'm Corbin Smith.
Yeah.
And I should go,
I'd be like,
hi, I'm
Um,
Katie Heindl.
I'm making a soup. I fucked it up.
I did fuck up my soup. I can't believe I didn't cover it.
See? It
I
was
just
super
have
realistic.
like a fat ass pot of lentils now. It's just a huge lentil pot.
I bet you can't eat all those lentils, bitch.
Go, you know what, John? Truly go fuck yourself. Wilmes, do you have anything to promote?
No, I got like a lot of longer things I'm working on, so I'll promote them when they exist.
You can follow
Just
me.
find us online.
Yeah, Katie is at WTEVS.
It's at whatevs.
And John is at John Wilmswords. I'm Corbin Smith, and I'm Corbin A. Smith on Twitter. I'm working on some shit, but mostly I'm just sitting around waiting for the NBA to start. Fansided. I'm doing NBA previews for Fansided. I'm not quite sure how it happened either, but I enjoy doing it. They're goofy, they're fun, they're lighthearted. So check those out. They're good. And thank you all for listening. Thank you, Katie, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Wilmes, for being you.
Long time coming.
And thank you, listening. You've been on before, Katie. You just haven't been on with Wilmes.
No, I have.
Yeah.
Many times. I think every time.
Wait, you've been on with John before?
Yeah. Multiple
bunch of
times.
times. Yeah.
Well, everyone have a good day. Bye.